In a distant corner of feudal Japan, surrounded by rolling hills of golden rice paddies and rugged mountains, lived a boy named Hiro. Barely 15, he was known in his small village for his boundless energy and insatiable curiosity. While other children dreamed of becoming samurai or artisans, Hiro devoured every story the wandering monks and bards would tell. Tales of great warriors, spirits that walked the earth, and celestial beings who shaped the world. But Hiro's life was simple, grounded in the rhythm of village life. He helped his mother tend the fields and carried water from the nearby river. At night, beneath the paper lanterns, he would sit with his friends, gesturing wildly as he improvised adventures about mythical creatures and daring heroes. Little did he know, one day, those stories would feel pale compared to his reality.
It happened during the festival of Obon, when the village honored their ancestors with floating lanterns and ceremonial dances. The locals gathered by the river under the twinkling stars, and Hiro, holding a lantern, whispered a quiet wish. If only I could have a chance to do something great. He released his lantern into the current and watched it drift away, a speck of light dissolving into darkness. Later that night, restless and energized by the evening festivities, Hiro sneaked out to the shrine atop Mount Taketsu. Elders often spoke of the mountain's spiritual significance. It was said to be a place where the worlds of humans and spirits overlapped. Climbing through the thick forest, Hiro laughed to himself. What if he found something extraordinary? What if the spirits really were watching? When he reached the shrine, moonlight bathed the weathered torii gate, and the air carried the scent of pine and incense. As he approached the offering box, Hiro felt the ground shudder faintly beneath him. He froze. Then, from behind the shrine, a faint light began to glow. It was soft and mesmerizing, like a firefly, but much larger. His heart pounding, Hiro edged closer. As he rounded the corner, he saw it. A stone orb, half buried in moss, pulsating with an ethereal blue light. Before he could think, the orb cracked, and a surge of energy rippled outward. Hiro was thrown to the ground, yet he felt no pain. Instead, an unfamiliar warmth spread through his body, coursing from his fingertips to his toes. The light faded, and silence returned to the mountain. At first, Hiro thought nothing had changed. But as he descended the trail, he realized he could sense things he shouldn't have been able to. The rustling of a deer, far off in the forest, the slow movements of the wind through the trees. When he tripped over a root and braced himself for a fall, he didn't hit the ground. Instead, he hovered inches above it, landing softly as if cradled by the air itself. The next few days left Hiro both exhilarated and confused. His abilities grew stranger and stronger. He found he could summon gusts of wind with a wave of his hand and hear whispers in the rustling leaves, as though nature itself was speaking to him. When the river overflowed after a heavy rain, he instinctively reached out, and the waters calmed, parting as if they obeyed his command. Word spread across the village, and while some praised him as a child of the kami, others eyed him with suspicion. But Hiro wasn't content to simply marvel at his powers. He wanted answers. He wanted to know what had happened atop Mount Taketsu. With the village elder's permission, he sought out an old monk who lived in a forgotten temple deep in the forest. A man said to have knowledge of the spiritual world. The monk, Ryokai, watched Hiro carefully as he explained the events of the Obon night.
The orb you discovered may have been a remnant of something ancient, an artifact left behind by the celestial beings. These gifts are rare, but they are always given for a reason. They are not for you alone, young one. They are for the world.
With those words etched in his mind, Hiro returned to his village, determined to use his newfound abilities. Over the following weeks, he became a beacon of hope. He helped repair damaged rice fields after a storm. He calmed a rampaging boar that had terrified the farmers, and even prevented a nearby village from succumbing to a wildfire by conjuring a rainstorm. But not everyone welcomed him with open arms. A wandering samurai, Captain Matsuo, arrived in the village and saw Hiro's powers as a threat. A boy wielding such abilities is unnatural, the samurai declared. What if one day he turns against us? What if the spirits that gifted him this power demand something in return? Hiro was hurt, but undeterred. He knew his heart, and he would let his actions speak for his intent. Yet despite his resolve, he couldn't shake the nagging questions. Why had the orb chosen him? Were there others like him? Was this power a gift or a test to help others? Hiro blinked. But why me? I'm just normal. Ryokai chuckled. Even the smallest seed can grow into a mighty tree. Do not underestimate your role. He leaned closer. But heed my words. Power is a double-edged sword. Use it to protect, not to destroy. If you abuse it, it will consume you. With those words etched in his mind, Hiro returned to his village, determined to use his newfound abilities to help others. Over the following weeks, Hiro became a beacon of hope. He helped repair damaged rice fields after a storm, calmed a rampaging boar that had terrified the farmers, and even prevented a nearby village from succumbing to a wildfire by conjuring a rainstorm. But not everyone welcomed him with open arms. A wandering samurai, Captain Matsuo, arrived in the village and saw Hiro's powers as a threat. A boy wielding such abilities is unnatural, the samurai declared. What if one day he turns against us? What if the spirits that gifted him this power demand something in return? Hiro was hurt, but undeterred. He knew his heart, and he would let his actions speak for his intent. Yet despite his resolve, he couldn't shake the nagging questions. Why had the orb chosen him? Were there others like him? Was this power a gift or a test? One day, while tending to the fields, Hiro noticed a shadow pass overhead. Looking up, he spotted an enormous bird with glowing eyes soaring toward the mountains. Villagers murmured about omens and disaster, but Hiro felt something different. A pull, as though destiny was calling him back to Mount Taketsu. He packed a small satchel of food and water and promised his mother he would return. This time, he wasn't just chasing answers, he was chasing his purpose. As Hiro ascended the familiar trail, the air felt heavier, laden with anticipation. At the shrine, he found the remnants of the cracked orb had disappeared, replaced by a strange glyph etched into the stone. It glowed faintly, and as Hiro reached out to touch it, whispers filled his mind. They spoke of balance, of danger, of a choice he would soon face. Hiro didn't know what awaited him, but he knew one thing for sure. His journey had only just begun. The powers he had been given were not simply tools, they were a responsibility. And no matter where they led him, he would face that path with courage and a heart full of determination. For Hiro, the boy who dreamed of doing something great was now living a story far beyond his imagination.